welcome to the bench. Mheshimiwa, you can walk in absolutely as soon as you get your mic. Kikuyu Member of Parliament Kimani Ichung'wah is already seated on the bench, and we're waiting for House Minority Leader and also co-chair of BBI Secretariat, Suna East MP Junaid Mohammed, who is being mic'd right here behind the camera. He'll be walking in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, Mheshimiwa, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
So,
thank you for the invite.
Thank you for coming.
Especially with my friend Junaid.
It was, I know, it's going to be a good one. It wasn't very good for you guys, as in UDA, in the last by-elections. It wasn't a good effort.
It was very good for us.
Why is that?
We are the only party that gained a seat. Jubilee lost a seat in London Ward in Nakuru. They got back their seat in Naivasha. ODM got back their seat in the ward in Kisii. That was their seat. They got it back. ANC got back their seat in Matungu. Ford Kenya got back their seat in Kabuchai in Bungoma County. I was just trying to look for the 2017 results, Jeff, and I can tell you, in Matungu, for instance, in 2017, Jubilee never even had the guts to field a candidate because we knew.
There was no chance.
It's a place that has been ODM and ANC. In actually the last elections, Junaid will tell you, the former MP where ran on, I think he ran on a Jubilee ticket, actually, and he lost. But the fight was basically between ODM and ANC.
So what was so important about
Kabuchai has basically been Ford Kenya territory. It is only UDA that fielded candidates.
Minority whip. Karibu sana.
Is this enough social things are bad?
Yeah, no, took us out.
Especially with him.
Thank you for making it.
Thank you.
Minority whip. Nashukuru sana. Co-chair Secretariat Secretariat.
Yes.
Suna East. You guys are friends, huh?
Good friends.
Good friends.
Yeah. Okay. Only enemies in parties.
All right.
Any parties. Yeah.
But when you were finishing that sentence on Kabuchai.
I'll tell you, it's only UDA that fielded candidates in all the by-elections across the country. Others fielded in the areas that they felt comfortable. This is our home turf. We need to protect our home turf. But UDA is only a party that fielded candidates from Kisii to Western to Nakuru to Naivasha.
And you think of one victory out of 7 was a good thing?
It was a good thing, Jeff. It was a good thing because I'm telling you, our performance in relative numbers, if you look at the percentage gain in both Kabuchai, Matungu, Naivasha, of course, I will not talk about Naivasha and Nakuru because basically it was a Jubilee and UDA was or is part of Jubilee. But in those other areas, we had no fighting chance in 2017. But the fact that we could field a candidate and give these guys a run for their money, you saw the kind of violence that was meted out on UDA supporters and, of course, ODM supporters in Matungu. And Junaid knows, and I know why that violence was being meted out, because it had been decided who was going to win.
Okay.
But we must take this opportunity, Jeff, if you allow me, first to condemn the kind of violence. And it's something that I've spoken about on this forum. You remember the last time I think I was here with Mbugungu Njiri, we spoke about it. I condemn the violence right from Kibra to Msambweni to now Matungu. It is something that we must just have to bring to an end.
Absolutely. Mheshimiwa, before you reply,
yes,
we have to ask you a quick question about Baba.
Yes.
Everybody's been wondering. Baba's been under the weather.
Yeah.
What's the latest? What are you hearing?
No, I'm told he's doing fine. He had some issues, but I'm told he's doing fine. The latest information I have just today evening, I'm told he's doing well. He's doing well. His doctors are on him.
Yeah.
And they've issued a statement today. The doctor issued a statement.
Dr. David Olunya.
Yes. And I'm told he's fine. He'll be okay. Everything's fine.
So why do you look so worried then? I mean, you're supposed to reassure the nation that he's okay. So.
No, he's not. You know, but first I can't speak for him. You know, yeah. It's his doctor and his family who can speak for him.
Okay.
But I'm just sharing with the information I have that he's doing well.
Okay.
He's fine. Yesterday I spoke with him around 11 p.m. at night on phone, and he was fine. Okay. But today I didn't manage to speak to him. I'll try checking him after the show. I'll tell him I was with Jeff.
There you go.
I said hi. Yeah, and Tamsalimia and show.
We wish him quick recovery.
Yeah.
We all wish him quick recovery.
Okay, you heard Mheshimiwa talking about the last by-elections.
Yes.
Yes. 1 out of 7 was a good show for UDA.
Yeah, for a small party like UDA, that's a good show. And, you know, winning award for a baby party. It's very, very, very important. But I don't know whether Ishungwa UDA is his party. I thought he was from Jubilee. I don't know when he has switched come to UDA. It's for the first time I'm hearing.
The gloves are off. The gloves are off.
I was with him in Parliament last week, I think. He was talking with Jubilee member, a former chairman of the budget committee.
Correct. A very powerful committee.
Powerful man. But now he's talking about a small party called UDA. Yeah, they have one award, one ward in Nakuru. It's significant, but not much. But ODM also won award in Kisii, which was not ours, the first place. The other issue I agree with him is the condemnation of the violence. That I agree with him. That I don't think that's the right way to do things. Violence has no place in the Kenyan society at the moment. That is why we have BBI. That is why we are doing things differently. So that I agree with him. I condemn the violence, but they have a long way to go. If they can begin with a ward, then they have a long way to go.
You had a big battle with the ANC out west. Big battle.
Yeah, I know.
And ANC came out on top.
Yeah, but with what margin?
Oh, you're looking at the margins?
We're looking at the margins,
wins.
yeah, because last election, we got 4,000 votes there. Our candidate got 4,000. And in this by-election, he got 10,000 votes. And ANC got 14,000.
You see the margin?
Yeah, 3,000 something. It was 10,800.
Is that Matungu?
Matungu, yeah.
I was just pulling out the results.
Yeah, what are the results for ANC?
I can tell you for 2017 Matungu, ODM had 4,000 votes, it's true.
Correct, yeah.
ANC had 18,000 votes. And that's what I was telling you. In relative terms, if you look at the performance.
I think this is the director of elections of UDA. The kind of data he's keeping.
I've just Googled from the IBC website, and that's what I was looking up just when you're walking in. Jubilee Party that fielded the former ODM Member of Parliament, David Were, the candidate.
The current ODM candidate.
Yeah. I think he has his traditional 8,000 votes. He had 8,000.
No, this time he got
10,618.
Yeah.
So you got 2,000 more.
2,000 more.
And I can tell you these votes for David in 2017 was on account of having been the incumbent Member of Parliament. Yes. And he has his bedrock of support. We just
but he didn't win
ODM. He didn't win in 2017 on Jubilee. And I was just telling Jeff that in relative terms, we performed much better, taking that UDA. And I was campaigning for UDA because Jubilee feared to field a candidate there. They said they were supporting some other coalition. I don't know if it's the Cerelac or which coalition they were supporting, because it wasn't a Handshake coalition, must be the Cerelac coalition that they were supporting. And they were well financed, by the way. Very well financed.
Yeah. You're talking about
besides being armed.
And you weren't well financed?
No, we weren't well financed. We were fundraising. I'll tell you, I was in Matungu on Friday of the week before elections. And when I got there from Eldoret, we had to fundraise for that day's activities to be able to move as members of parliament who were there. And quite a big team of members of parliament who are campaigning for the candidate. And let me also take this opportunity to congratulate all those candidates. The ODM candidate, David Were, who is a former colleague in the 11th Parliament, Honorable Anya, who was our candidate under UDA. And of course the winner, Navulindo, they did very well. Navulindo did very well under Ford Kenya in the last elections also. So basically, you could listen up to people and hear they had some attachment, Navulindo having lost, being the runners-up to the late Member of Parliament. But I think the long and short of it, Jeff, and where we agree with my good friend Junet here, is the condemnation of violence. That is not, there were basically no elections. What we were seeing is basically some coronation of people who had been decided that they must win by hook or crook. And you saw what happened to their supporters in Matungu, because it had been decided that seat had to go to the Cerelac coalition under ANC. The other one had to go to Ford Kenya. And violence would be meted out in a manner that is unmeasured. When did you ever see a senator walking around with goons, members of parliament walking around with goons, getting hold of IBC officials and ejecting them from polling stations? If we want to set that kind of precedence a year before the run-up to the elections, I said it last week and I challenged the Inspector General of Police. And I said it even on Monday. If he's not too eager to write his own charge sheet before the ICC, this is how we began 2007, 2008.
Which word do you agree?
Yeah, to some extent I agree that there was so much violence. It was all over. It was in the media. It was, you know, it was so much violence. Even though there was also violence in Msambweni.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he was there too.
Yeah, and he was featuring in big way. I don't know whether it was part of the violence.
Violence being meted out on me.
No, violence being done by that time people affiliated to his new party, UDA. But all said and done, one thing I'm in agreement with him is violence has no place in our country going forward. Elections must be elections. And I think, I was thinking yesterday aloud that we need to change, we need to do some changes of law in parliament with him. That at the day of an election, in a by-election, members of parliament should not be allowed to go to those constituencies. Only the candidate and maybe one member from that party who can be a chief agent or something. But this issue of 50 members, 30 members of parliament going to polling stations during the election day, it intimidates voters, it intimidates police officers, it brings chaos also. I'm telling you. Look, a senator was walking around with 2.5 million shillings on election day. What are you doing with that? And crying, you know, like a baby. This is my money. This is my money. What is that, young man? What kind of nonsense is that? Yeah, what kind of nonsense is that?
But you know what? After that, when the NCIC summons the members of parliament, nothing is done. Let's face it, guys. Nothing is done.
Jeff, you need to ask yourself, even before you summon, and I disagree on the question of members of parliament being present. Because elections, either you are there as an observer, you can be there as an agent. And I remember like the incident that you saw in Nakuru with the Honorable Nixon Korir. He was our chief agent in that ward, particular ward. But people are coming to eject him from a polling station where he is manning and checking whether all his agents are in place. And I'll tell you the experience that I've had with the recent by-elections, starting from the violence meted out by ODM with the support of the system and the state in Kibra, the violence meted out to us in Msambweni, again by ODM with the support of the state. And unfortunately, they say what goes around comes around. The same violence now is being meted out on ODM in Matungu by ANC with the support of the state again. If you want to belittle it to be a question of between members of parliament, what is the role of the police in an electoral process? It is to ensure that there is fairness and there is freedom for everybody to walk in peacefully into the polling stations, vote and go home. Why are the police bothered by seeing Junet in a polling station and want to eject Junet and leave me?
But what is he doing there?
If he's an agent,
let me say something.
If he's an agent,
no, you don't need to be an agent.
Or
because
an observer, there's nothing wrong with
candidate has an agent.
Correct.
From the local people there. Members of parliament go there with the guys that they're protecting votes not to be stolen. But in the end, they end up bribing voters. We know each other. You know, they go to a polling station, he's carrying money, he starts dishing out to people there. That's what they want to do in every polling station. The best thing is, let the candidate have his own agents, let the election be conducted in a peaceful manner, let the best winner, the best guy win. But why members of parliament are going there, I can tell you for free. I'm one of them. They are going there with sinister motive of bribing voters, you know, intimidating voters, chasing away voters. We must also say the truth if we were to cure the problem. As much as police can be used against people, which I have not differed with him on that, and because how can the police watch when somebody ejects an IBC officer from a polling station, takes her out, beats her up with her papers and polling items and everything, and the police just watching. That I agree is unacceptable. But also these members, 50, 40 members of parliament who are going to, is wrong. We should let people elect their leaders in peace. Even during the general elections, why are they not going to polling stations? Because every MP is busy in his polling station. Being elected. So he has no time to go to another have you ever seen 30 members of parliament when he was being elected in Kikuyu constituency in 2017? No. They are all busy in their constituencies.
Circumstances are different.
Yeah.
Circumstances are different because in a general election, you actually move around in your polling stations, in your constituency. And I do that. I move from the first to
because you're a candidate.
Because I'm a candidate.
Yeah.
and you are there to ensure that all your candidates are in place. Number two, there is nothing that stops, unless Junet intends to bring such a bill or such an amendment to the Elections Act, there is nothing that stops a member of parliament from being an agent. In fact, every member of parliament that you saw, be it Gladys Wanga of ODM or the other gentleman from, is it from Karachuonyo, the one who was being arrested in Matungu?
Nobody arrested him. He was beaten up, he reported to the police station, and it was assumed that he was arrested. And he was reporting.
I saw him saying he's visiting the police station.
Yeah, because he was being beaten.
But you saw the altercation that was there between Senator Malala and Honorable Gladys Wanga. I don't know, you're the director of elections in ODM. Maybe you can tell us whether you had given them money to go and bribe voters.
No.
Maybe you're talking from experience. I do not know.
Well,
but
you remember what you did in Msambweni. You know, people like Honorable Mwashetani dishing out money openly.
Honorable Mwashetani, if you remember, Junet, you are not in Msambweni. I was in Msambweni, and I was moving around all the polling stations. What you saw was during the campaign. That is the clip that was going around. The election day, what you saw was the altercation between armed people, and I said it here. People who were armed, and you remember you challenging me last time how I know they weren't bodyguards.
And the worst thing,
people with AK-47.
All these MPs are carrying guns.
He is deputy party leader.
Guns.
Deputy party leader.
What do you mean all these?
All of them guns.
You're an MP
No, I don't have. You know, if government provides me with security, bodyguard, why should I carry a gun? All of them are armed, roaming around in polling stations like thugs. It's unacceptable.
The question is, Jeff, does the law allow or does it disallow? Okay. Number two,
the law is silent.
A polling station as an agent, whether you're a chief agent in a particular polling station or in an entire ward, you ought to have appointment letters from IEBC. None. At least to the best of my knowledge, none of the UDA leaning members of parliament, those who were supervising the elections on behalf of UDA candidates, was there without an appointment letter.
All right,
and
gentlemen.
I can tell you that because I was involved in the list that had appointment letters. I know they all had appointment letters from IBC.
Okay, gentlemen, I want to switch gears and talk about tonight's topic, handshake or fists. 3 years later. 3 years later, Mheshimiwa, already CI, look at him, he's stepping aside. CI Senator James Orengo, over the weekend, he said, these people are sabotaging us. There's something going on. They want to prevent. What is going on? Is the handshake over?
You're just raising my temperatures up. You're putting no, you see.
That's why I left you to him.
Yeah, you know. But because he's not party to the handshake. And you know, these ones, when the handshake happened, they ran away. But
they didn't know about it.
Yeah, no, they knew about it, but they didn't want anybody to make peace with anyone. They wanted just people to continue fighting. So what the senator talked about, and what I even talked about, are normal, ordinary issues. We were just raising issues that we thought are of concern to us.
Why now? Why 3 years later?
We'll even do it tomorrow, not 3 years later. So it doesn't matter what the time is. These are issues that are of importance to us. And the democracy allows people to speak there.
No, not the way you all spoke. You're trying to defend what you said was a really minor thing. But it was taken as a major issue, that there's a rift. Or there's handshake?
No, there's no rift at all in the handshake. And what we raised it in good faith. And we raised it as a matter of concern, which is a matter that's of importance to us. And we addressed the right people. They said they would address the issues, and the matter has ended. Yeah, there's nothing to discuss about it.
Is it just me, or Mheshimiwa here is not very convincing?
But I know you wanted us to fight because, you know, they say it sells when it bleeds. So you wanted, you're looking for a story to sell here.
Not at all. Okay, so why the meeting in Kibra called overnight? Why was that?
No, the meeting happened. It was never called off.
No, it was the night before is when they called for that meeting. It was almost unplanned.
No, the meeting was called by the members of parliament from Nairobi.
On the Saturday night?
Yes.
For tomorrow, Sunday?
Yes.
What's that about? Is that a panic mode?
No, not at all. They raised the issues there of party elections, BBI, and such kind of things.
And?
And it ended well. All went well, I'm telling you.
But people just smiling there.
I'm smiling because I was trying to look for the message that I saw being circulated to some of your friends in the fourth estate,
yes,
inviting people for the Kamukunji meeting in Kibra on Sunday. And it was very well
Was it
worded.
copied to you, dear?
No. It was copied to members of the media, and they shared. And Junet knows how the invite was worded and who were to attend that meeting. So let's not lie, it was scaled down. Scaled down because the former Prime Minister was to attend. Maybe that's when he started feeling fatigued. We never know, because I think soon after that is when we had his unwell with this fatigue that is being treated for. And as I said, we wish him all the best and pray for him that he recovers quickly and gets back to moving around, doing what he does best. But what is happening with the handshake, Jeff, I can tell you, for many of us, it doesn't bother us. And it's a non-issue, really.
It's a non-issue whether it lasts or not?
It's a non-issue for me. The handshakes, the bit that touches on Junet not being in the streets, that I will tell you, we have been very consistent. We supported you getting off the streets and accepting that when you lose elections, you accept the results and allow the country to move forward. And if that is what the handshake is about. But the other things that we have disagreed, and he knows the issues I've disagreed with them on the handshake, those do not bother us, many of us. And what is happening today, Jeff, is only that Junet is being cagey with the truth here. I know he's a very smart guy, this guy. When we were fired, myself and Duara in Parliament, he's only this guy who spoke for like 10 minutes. You know, he has more time in Parliament being the whip. When I was fired in July, Junet is the only guy who stood up in Parliament, spoke for 10 minutes, 8 minutes. Accolades on how good a chairman I was of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, and he agrees I was a good chairman. And the last 2 minutes, he lectured us on loyalty, and he told us, you know, where I come from. You are Baba's cow. If you're in this party.
No, I didn't tell you that.
What Baba says, you do without question.
I didn't tell you that.
So I'm telling you, he's an intelligent guy. Yeah. So he's just being cagey with the truth.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, Jeff, let me just finish. Yes. My own analysis of what is going on is an ego management crisis. BBI is a new cash cow in this country. And as much as Junet will not tell it to you here today, that cash cow, maybe they feel that one of the other players within the handshake has refused to open the taps for the cash cow, for cash to flow to their side. That is why you hear Junet, Orengo, and everybody else in ODM complain that, you know, the what do you call it, his secretariat, the secretary he co-chairs, the PBS has been sidelined. Sidelining a secretariat means you are not financing the secretariat. You are organizing, you expect the former Prime Minister to go down to the coast for 5 days. No wonder the guy is fatigued. Unfinanced. You tell him the provincial administration, DCs are organizing your rallies. He goes there, he's all sabotaged. The following day, some other guy from some other coalition is sent down to Taveta, very well financed. Choppers, everything, state machinery is there. I mean, if you were the owner of the handshake or a co-principal in the handshake, there must be some ego management crisis that will creep in, and that's what we are dealing with. And that's what I'm saying. Since it's their issue, we are not bothered. The only thing I'm cautious about is the issue of BBI being a cash cow. And he will tell you what they tell us in Parliament, openly. They have been waiting for this thing to mean.
No, you see, you know, that is gospel according to UDA. You know, these people,
Kimani Ichung'wa, not
Kimani Ichung'wa and UDA by extension, because they want to speak on a matter that they don't know anything about. You know, they are just speculating. They're just, you know, rumor-mongering that it is about cash, about what. You see, if it's about cash or anything related with money, this process of BBI did not start yesterday or today. This thing has been going on for the last 2 years, I think, from, you know, inception of, you know, preparing the country for the reforms and changing the constitution. All that was a process, and we have been participating as individuals and parties. And we have never complained about money from that time. And we don't need any money from anyone. You know, ODM as a party is capable of financing and funding its own activities, whether it is within the process of BBI or its political activities like what we did in Coast for the last 5 days. You know, ODM is a strong party, it's a big party. It's not a ward level party like UDA that is still growing up now. They get political funding from the political party's registrar. From the treasury. He used to budget for us. He used to give money only to 2 parties when he was the budget chairman, Jubilee and ODM. He never used to give to UDA or some small party like this one. So those are rumors. Let's keep it aside. What we were raising are genuine issues that we think could help advance the agenda of BBI and make it better.
Are they being addressed?
They have been addressed.
That's why you have all fallen silent now?
That is why, if there are other issues, I will still complain. Democracy allows me to speak whenever I want to speak. I will speak if I need to speak. But for now, I have nothing to speak about. Those matters are done. We want now to go to Parliament, pass the bill, and go to referendum.
That was my next question. Is it going to pass in Parliament?
It's going to pass, even if he's going to vote for it.
He'll vote for it?
Yeah, he's just posturing. If he has the BBI, if he has the referendum, he knows it's a whitewash. Yeah, he knows. We know each other. You know, he's just posturing here.
Are you going to vote for it?
Jeff, there are things that I don't have 2 positions. And on BBI, I don't have 2 positions. I have been very consistent from the word go. And I have said it before, I say it again. In Parliament, if you go to a referendum, in the referendum, I will vote no. I will not vote for it.
No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. Kusha.
Unless you give me a multiple choice referendum, then I would vote. I would vote in a few of the issues.
Okay, some of the UDA members were talking about a non-contested referendum. That you would consider that a non-contested referendum.
Yes, and we said if you iron out some of the issues that we had raised, including the issue I've just spoken about, the issue of a multiple choice referendum where you have multiple questions. If I do not like the subjugation of the judiciary, you allow me the freedom to vote against it if I don't want. If I want to support the 35% to counties, allow me to do that. If I want to vote against something I'm very passionate about, what we have called the double or triple decker parliament, raising the huge number of members of parliament. If I want to vote against that, allow me to do that. So that Kenyans are given the freedom to vote for what they think will be of benefit to them, not what is benefiting us in the political class.
Multiple choice?
You know, there is no multiple choice. You know, for the first time, I see his group behaving in a watermelon way. You see, when we were starting this issue of BBI and reforms and change the constitution, they talked of many things. They said, oh, this matter is for creating jobs for the big men. This matter is creating, the positions for the big boys. This issue is about extending, the term of power for certain people. This issue is about Raila and Uhuru. They have never come out openly as a party and as a group to say, we are opposing the BBI. Never.
But he just said here.
No, this is just one individual from Kikuyu. Kikuyu constituency. I'm addressing the larger constituency of his, which is called Tangatanga.
Right.
He's just a one man. Can't take, even if he opposes him, what can he do? It will pass. But I'm talking about his leadership. He's one of them, but the bigger, the leader. He's a leader, He has never come out to tell us that this thing now has gone through the county assemblies, now it has gone to parliament, I am going to oppose it. Only Martha Karua has announced that she's leading the no campaign.
Correct.
Where have they disappeared to? The same things they were making noise about is still contained in that document. It has been passed by 43 counties. They can't even afford to raise 10 county assemblies, for sure. A whole party, a whole brigade of Tangatanga could not afford even to get no in 10 counties.
Jeff.
These are squirrels, man, in town. Jeff. 43. Look, they could only manage to raise 2, which said no, and one abstained. Abstained. We raised 43. I was expecting minimum. The kind of force they show us in town here, the kind of rallies they do, the kind of bravado I see in them. I thought they will get maybe 20, 21, and we shall get 24. Something, Hakuna kitu bana. Hakuna kitu.
Let me tell you,
Hakuna
Jeff,
kitu, I'm telling you.
because Junet is just being selective with what he sees and what he knows and what he's heard from us. Because we've been very consistent. First, we have said, and I personally have said it even here, I saw this process being anchored on deceit. And that deceit is there from the word go. When this handshake BBI maneno started, everybody told us it has nothing to do with positions, it has nothing to do with change of the constitution. In fact, that is why even at the point they were selecting the committee, they selected a committee that had very good elderly people who would bring people together, because that is what was sold to the country. The deceit then came in when the report was released. And it came with issues to do with increasing positions. Then we raised the issues that were raised then, things that were clawing back on the Bill of Rights, things that were clawing back on the independence of the judiciary, interfering with how even Parliament works, taking away some of the things they have taken away from Parliament, like the vetting of cabinet and principal secretaries, that is in the 2010 Constitution. And therein, issues were raised. And you remember the Deputy President, the second bombers, those things they do in bombers. By the way, I've never attended any of them.
Never?
I have never. That's why I tell you, I have been very consistent. I have never attended any bombers, those things.
And the reason you don't is?
Because I didn't believe in a process that was deceitful, that was anchored on deceit, that I could see from the word go. It was anchored on deceit. Look at the way it is being sold today, Jeff, and you see deceit from the word go. The former Prime Minister was meeting leaders and opinion leaders from Luo Nyanza a few weeks ago. And he told them that they are bringing in new constituencies in Karachuonyo, in Homa Bay, and I don't know what other place. And they are being told in Toluo that the secret BBI document that we have has additional constituencies.
So now
for
you mean you understand the law?
Of course.
You understand?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I do.
It's news to me.
You know, he speaks Toluo, you think he's the only one who can
No,
speak.
no.
You got it counted?
From your dental formula, you don't look like somebody who knows Fujalo.
You know, he's a visitor in Migori, so
you don't know the
he imagines.
Don't misinterpret what the Prime Minister said. Because I know you don't understand that language.
Let me tell you, and the promises have been there. The funeral in Kisii, the Prime Minister, the former member for what is that constituency? I don't know the constituency. The one who was being buried the other day. The same thing was repeated, that there will be an extra constituency for Kisii, I don't know where else. And everywhere they go, there are promises. Things that are not in the document. In the region where I come from, BBI has been sold as a thing that is coming to deal with all our problems. And remember, we've been in power by 2022 for 35 years, but we are still wallowing in poverty. And we are being told the solution to all your problems, the solution to money coming down to your areas, the solution to getting more constituencies and more representation is in BBI. Whereas when they go there, they tell us what we are being told in Central Kenya is not what others are being told in their areas. And therein, I find deceit.
But yet...
And that deceit, Jeff, is what I tell you was anchored in the document, because we were sold a document and a handshake that had nothing to do with power.
You only got three
we were told it has... Let me finish. We were told, Jeff...
Let me explain.
Junet, let me finish.
Expound on that.
I'm just on the last point then. You come in. We were told this thing has nothing to do with 2022 politics. Listen to Junet Mohammed and James Orengo last week, over the weekend. The issues we're talking about is on BBI being used on the 2022 succession power games. And therefore, it's all shrouded in deceit, and that's why you sell to the public things to do with things that you think the public will buy. The bravado you see here, that we got 43 counties. How did you get the 43 counties?
How?
Bribing MCAs, intimidating MCAs, threatening them. If you want to allow people the latitude to vote, why didn't you just allow MCAs to vote free? The same things you will see with the public, members of the public, when they get to the referendum. You will see the kind of things that will happen.
Let me say this.
Defend himself.
First, it's very unfortunate that in a national television, my colleague, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kikuyu constituency, is insulting honorable members of our county assemblies who are elected just like us. Whenever we pass bills there, we are not bribed. We pass bills there with our conscience that we believe in what this bill is saying. He is insulting members of county assemblies in 43 county assemblies in the Republic of Kenya, short of 4. Secondly, these lamentations is raising about deceit, those are political in nature. They are not part and parcel of the BBI process. The BBI process has no clause of deceit anywhere. If you look it from back to back, he's talking about enhancing and making the life of Kenyans better. For example, he's not telling you the good things that are contained in that document. He's only telling you the political aspects in his views that he thinks that are not of good in nature, according to him. I want to tell him categorically that this is a document that has been passed by 43 county assemblies, and as you know, those are people who have exercised their mandate because they have the sovereign power of the people. When you are elected by the people, people donate to you sovereign power, the way they have donated to me and you. We exercise sovereign power on behalf of Suna East constituency and Kikuyu constituency. That is the same way MCAs have been donated sovereign power. When you see them passing a document in a larger number like 43, in a larger number like 43 out of 47 county assemblies.
Do you believe what you're saying? Does he believe what he's saying?
I never thought you will appear with me in a show and still argue about BBI. I thought you will tell me this matter is done, Kenyans have accepted it, it's done and dusted, because the 43 county assemblies are speaking on behalf of the people who elected them. They're not speaking for themselves. There is no MCA who's mad enough to go to a county assembly and vote for a document that he knows the people who elected him at the ward level are opposed to it. Me and you know each other. It is only you who can do that, who was elected on a Jubilee ticket and left Jubilee. I don't know what guarantees you have. There's something that I don't know. I will see it in 2017, in 2022.
You will see it, don't worry. Jeff, let me tell you. It's a fallacy to say that MCAs voted with their conscience. And Kenyans know better. Kenyans know MCAs. They know the 2 million shillings car grant, the threats and intimidation.
So we are also getting 5 million car grants. Are we being bribed? Me and you got it.
As MPs.
As MPs, we got it. By the way, we got it.
Are we being bribed?
Yes.
In 2013, right after the elections.
Yes.
You got your 5 million.
Because we're entitled to it and we got it.
But
2017,
so
after elections, in September, October of 2017, we got our car grant.
Yes.
MCAs were promised a car grant way back in 2015 or 2016. They have not been given that car grant up and until when they were they demanded that if we have to pass BBI in Sagana, car grant. And it was declared there and then, whether SRC wants it or not, car grant must be given to MCAs.
So you're saying you have an incentive?
You have seen the string of letters from political parties to MCAs telling them you must vote this way. If indeed, and we all come from constituencies, and he can speak for Migori and the areas he comes from. But I can tell you, in the region where I come from, the MCAs who voted for BBI in the county assemblies, first the speakers will tell you, they were instructed.
By
it
who?
has to be by acclamation.
By who?
No division.
By who?
That is why you, let me finish. That is why you will find there is not a single county in this country that went into division. It was not allowed. It had to be acclamation, and the speakers were under instructions. Whether or not the ayes or the nays have it, the ayes must have it.
Hang on. Central Kenya was said to be rumbling. The whole of Central Kenya was said to be split.
Fake news. Fake news, I'm telling you. That myth was demystified during the BBI document passage at the county assemblies. They have been telling us Mount Kenya is gone. I didn't know where it went to.
Jeff.
Let the BBI thing come. Myth, demystified. Fake news.
And yet he said you you bribed MCAs.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, and as a co-chair of that committee, we have not given a single shilling to any MCA. I can swear by the Quran. Myself, from my secretariat people, we have not given to anyone any shilling. And the car grant is an entitlement. Those are representative of the people. We are the representative of the people. We are getting car grants every 5 years when we are elected. These are people also who are serving, the same people we are serving. They are being given 2 million shillings to buy a car so that he can move from his house to the county assembly and do some errands. Okay. And it is all that 2 million is coming from their budget, from the county budget. They're not coming from the National Assembly, so from the national government. In my view, I expected my good friend, actually he's my friend, he knows that. With the bravado I was seeing them having all over the country before the BBI document was subjected to a vote, honestly speaking, I expected them to raise not less than 21, 22 counties. voting no for this document, then we can authoritatively say Kenyans are divided on this document. And then we can agree that let's go for a referendum, let's see what Kenyans will decide.
So you were shocked you had 43? You were shocked?
Of course, because okay. I don't know what Kenyans will decide. I didn't know how they will vote. But I was shocked to see my brothers here could raise 2 counties.
All right.
And those 2 counties are bedrooms of certain person, you know it. Nyumbani, you know, even when Gaddafi, even when Gaddafi was chased from Tripoli, he ran away to Sirte, you know, to hide himself.
Yes.
So you know, Eldoret there, you know.
But Baringo was different.
And Baringo.
And they had to go to court, by the way. They had to go to court because it had the de facto, you know, the de facto BBI leader now, BBI campaign leader, the de facto leader now is a man from Baringo. And that is the ego management crisis that I was telling you about.
You know what?
That ODM has.
That's a good point to take a break. Hold on. We'll take a break and we'll come back to what you just said. The de facto leader of the BBI.
He said he's who?
Baringo senator.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong. We just want to discuss further.
What's wrong with that?
That is ego management crisis.
What's wrong with that? He's a leader of this country. He's a senator.
Way, is Baba at home or is he at Nairobi Hospital? Do we know?
I need to check with Mama Ida.
Okay, could you check in the break?
No, you know, now is not the time to call family members.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yes, and by the way, I realize you are the government yourself. Because the curfew is at 10. And you're holding us here. If you are arrested outside here, what will you do?
But we have the system.
Essential service. We are essential services.
Okay, I get you.
We're very. You don't think we're essential?
No, you, not me.
Let's take a break. Keep tweeting at Koinaki at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag. Are you guys really friends?
Yeah.
Wow.
We are.
Very good friends.
Yeah.
JKLive takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.